This isn't my room. Welcome one and all. Ugh, it's too bad they stole away the game porn that was locking Sonic 3 on a Sonic and Knuckles, baby. To my very...
Are these the old gemstones? It'd be a shame if something happened to them.
Favoritist. Sonic breaks down after being mugged for the first time. Sonic game ever, even though it's technically cheating because it's two Sonic games put together, and don't you worry, I will address that. Still, this is as good as Sonic the Hedgehog has ever been, ever gotten. This pure, untapped Hedgehog glory straight into the limbic system of your feeble little bodies.
Yeah, you steal from me, I'm gonna fleece every single treasure trove you got on this island.
While I'm up here on my soapbox, allow me to tell you a story and gush. So I actually found Sonic first in my gaming history because I would go over to my cousin's house. She had Sega Genesis, I had an NES still. So Sonic was the forbidden fruit that I had to stay up late 1 or 2 weekends every couple of months to fully absorb into my system and become an addict. I love the colors, I love the speed, I love the skill. That's what really set it apart for me from Mario, is that it felt like it took skill early on, whereas early Mario levels like Mario 1, Mario 3, you can kind of breeze through those, no big deal. But Sonic opened up the special levels, it opened up the enemies, it opened up various challenges such as, getting 30 rings to get to a gold post in a secret stage. This was my first collectathon in so many ways. This was my first dive into a half-baked story world, but at the time, my imagination filled in all the gaps without an issue whatsoever. I was on a desert island when I originally played this game, and no one could shake me out of it without expecting a hell of a tantrum in return. And so like any childhood treasure, I've carried it with me through the years in various forms. The GameCube version, the 32X attachment. I never touched the 3DS version just because I have it now on Steam, and the little VR enabled place, which, let me be clear, I did not review Sonic in VR. That's weird. Hey Sonic?
Yeah, Tails, what's up?
What are blue balls? So what exactly is it that I think this pair of games put together does better than any others? Angles. Early Sonic games were learning the angles. That's all you had to do. You had to learn the angles of quickest descent, of quickest acceleration, of quickest to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds. There were angles that you took every which way. They started to go away from that just a smidge in Sonic CD, and they fell completely off that rocker in Sonic 3D and all of the 3D examples of Sonic. None of them came close to that. This is when they were at their peak of design and angular velocity, which was the real reward, where you could blaze through levels in under a minute, to where it made a speed test the actual carrot on the end of the stick, the ultimate one, beyond defeating Robotnik. Scoregasm. This is also, unsurprisingly, the best looking early Sonic game, period. Sonic CD started to go a little bit too 3D, and you can see it in the special levels and a few of the aesthetic pieces inside the levels themselves. They just dabbled a little bit too much in 3D for those graphics to really age as well as these have. Why are Chaos Emeralds uniformly hidden on terrible kitchen tile floors? Gameplay is its stripped down simplistic self with no figure 8 dash or homing attack or anything special like that, which is perfectly fine because that fits inside this universe and that fits on the relatively small and bilinear tracks on Angel Island and everywhere else you end up traveling. Stick close to me, Tails. You're raptor food if this is Jurassic Park.
Aha, I have you now, son. Ow! Why aren't you letting me finish my monologue? Ow! Hello? Can you hear me? Is the speaker broken again? Give me thumbs up if you can hear me. Maybe I could use this as a chance to tell you all the things I can never tell you in person. Like how
I personally find the Sonic and Knuckles levels to be far more interesting visually and far more alive feeling with other factors beyond just you running through a level and robots trying to cut your Achilles tendon at work. And with the music, it's just not even a competition. Sonic and Knuckles has probably the vast majority of the top 20 of Sonic and Pals tunes ever made. And welcome to Robotnik's Bathhouse! Super! The main three aspects that Sonic 3 adds to Sonic & Knuckles are, of course, 6 more levels, the Super and Hypersonic levels, and some added special stages, which all are completely worth the price of admission. How much credit is Robotnik really hoping to get over weaponizing the spin cycle? And now let's talk about that price of admission, because back in the day, these games did not come together. They were separate, very, very expensive cartridges that you had to buy and then very, very sensually shoved together and then into your janky plastic Sega Genesis console. It was a nightmare. And of course today, more times than not, you get them together, which is great. But that to me isn't anything other than a Game of the Year edition that we see in more modern times. This was physical DLC that, to be fair, actually did not have physical room on the chip at the time, but still, I'm treating that as a negative in my mind. Perhaps not a huge negative, not a Asura's Wrath negative, but still, that same sort of practice continues today, and that's just not something that is ever gonna seem okay. And now we're in Robotnik's septic system next door. Supersonic speed ahead. I do have some other negatives that I deliver with all the love in my heart.
Well, you see, whenever you dock Sonic 3 to Sonic and Knuckles, the jump, the invisibility music, the special stages, the mini bosses, and the regular bosses all have Sonic and Knuckles music overlaid Sonic 3. And that is, of course, because of the blast processing power of the Sega Genesis.
Tails, your two-tailed partner, God bless him, is an absolute AI cul-de-sac. Now, originally he was added on to be a differentiator from Mario, and he certainly was. But here he's just the worst at giving bosses iframes that Sonic will slip through, and then all of a sudden you've just lost 250 rings on something that was not your fault. Dr. Robotnik strikes me as one of those inventors that just needs a no man to follow him around and slap his hand. What the hell is half of this stuff? You can get him off the screen, thankfully, by basically choosing your roster in the beginning, so I would totally recommend that unless you're playing 2-player and player 2 doesn't mind taking a much reduced role. There is an actual multiplayer component where you compete going through stages more quickly with more rings, with more score, etc., but it's terrible. It's not a destination mode. It is completely tacked on in an age where it didn't even seem appropriate, but Sonic 2 had it, so there it was. Welcome to Mobius Falls, the psychedelic casino where the universe always wins and rings are just a figment of your feeble minds. Also, shout out to Robotnik, not Eggman, for making some of the best boss fights in the entire franchise for these two games combined too, especially that last secret boss.
Hey, it's me again. Alright, so where was I? Oh yeah, I know I roboticized your entire family and all your friends and took over the world, but do you know how much you cost me a year? Hunting teenage hedgehogs isn't exactly a gold mine. I'm basically doing this pro bono, and it's costing me billions and billions in advanced robotics every single quarter. I had to liquidate my acid and lava pits last year just to make rent in December. Do you know how expensive Christmas is when you have to feed 3 trillion robot brothers, sisters, sons, uncles? My entire lineage is robots at this point, damn it! And my robot wife is sleeping with my robot brother. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that out loud. Oh, it feels so good to get that off my chest.
Pretty much the other third of this game is Knuckles, who's brand new to the series at this point, and he's a complete jackass in Sonic's playthrough, and in his playthrough he's more of a bruiser, just like he is throughout pretty much every other game. Thank God he doesn't have to hunt for those shards of whatever the hell, Chaos Emerald? I forget what he hunts in Sonic Adventure games, but he does none of that here, thank the stars above. Hey, everyone, who got Indiana Jones on the Sonic game? His power matters a little bit more in Sonic and Knuckles as opposed to 3 because there just aren't that many alternate paths in 3, but whenever you do find one, you will feel the difference. And the stories even differ slightly depending on which way you go. It's stupid, but it is there. Tails, ever faithful, flies to hell to reclaim Sonic's soul. Another innovation that kind of just died on the vine in this game is the hyper versions of everyone's supers, and I absolutely love it. The levels are clearly not built for them, but if you can still grab them up once or twice, it's totally worth the thrill ride. Can Thor do this with pocket change and rings and stuff? That's a hell of a side effect to being the god of thunder. Hey man, I feel like we really broke through something back there, so I still gotta kill you, but just know, you're my homie. The version I played didn't have anything special added or subtracted, unless you count the VR aspect, which again, I did not try. Phallic Mobile away! Go mighty penis drill! Which I couldn't be happier about, quite frankly. Attack my drill stool! Because this is a desert island game for me if there ever was one. What luck that container was not filled with turtles and bunnies. While a lot of my other childhood gaming memories fade or change or warp with time, this one stays crisp and fresh like it's still in a nice plastic wrapper. I'm giving Sonic 3 and Knuckles a 10 out of 10 despite the cheat that is 2 games in 1. I'll live with the shame. Whee! Oh yeah, this is so much fun, right Sonic? I am never letting you pick a ride at the carnival again. Thank you for listening and watching and reading and loving and hoping. I'll see you next time on here and on myggaming.com. Sonic out!